Hi, I'm Melissa and this is Nerd Alert. So, I recently watched The Haunting of Bly Manor and I thought I'd just have a discussion with you and my opinions on this series. So, for those of you who don't know, The Haunting of Bly Manor is the second installment of the Haunting of series, I think is what it's called. So, the first one was The Haunting of Hill House. But anyway. So, the best way to shorten down the synopsis is basically you have Danny, who becomes an au pair, I think that's how you say it, to the Wingrave children, and upon her entering Bly Manor, a lot of spooky things go down as well as some intense drama. So I'm going to start off with the characters. Well, the reoccurring characters we have are Danny the au pair, we have Hannah the housekeeper, Owen the cook, Jamie who's the gardener, then you also have the children, which are Miles and Flora, and you also have Henry, who is the uncle. Now, to get a sense of all, they all have some individual qualities and everything to match up, but the main focus around the characters is basically Danny and the children. As even though Hannah and Owen and Jamie are reoccurring characters, there's nothing much going on around them apart from Hannah, but I'm not going to spoil that if you haven't watched it. So, but mainly it revolves around Danny, Miles, and Flora. So the episodes are roughly around 45 minutes long. I can't remember how many episodes there was because I literally binge watched it in 2 days. But like I said, overall they're like 45 minutes long. Each episode either recurring, like obviously it starts off with Danny getting to Bly Manor, and then from there you see the progression of what's been going on around, especially with the children, and Danny's past, and also things with Bly Manor in general. The majority of the later episodes, however, I will say this, are some flashbacks of what happened in the past in Bly Manor, and also of like some characters that have died there. More side characters than reoccurring characters. So you get a grasp of the history of Bly Manor and everything over there, like the overall thought of it. So personally for me, I didn't think this series was as creepy and scary as the first series, which was The Haunting of Hill House, because it wasn't like, there wasn't any intense like jump scares, even though you don't really need jump scares for it to be scary, but it just, the atmosphere, it didn't feel scary to me. It didn't like want me to go, oh my god, what's happening, because that's what I normally do in horror film, like with horror things. But it literally, I watched the whole series without once flinching or being scared, anything to do with the series. So overall there's only one bit of it that made me jump, but other than that it was straight through episodes after episodes. I didn't think it was that kind of intense, because also we're in October, so you want something spooky, but this wasn't as spooky as I've obviously, like I said, The Haunting of Hill House. I think what could have made it more scary is when you had more to do with the more other ghosts in this, like you did with Haunting of Hill House. You had like certain characters like had ghosts attached to them and things like that. Yeah, as it is spooky season and you want to watch some scary, if like you're like me, like if I would want like, because it is spooky season, it's October, so I would want to expect more horror things coming out, especially on Netflix. And this didn't really come up to my standards, unfortunately. Like I said, I will say probably throughout this whole video that The Haunting of Hill House was better than Haunting of Bly Manor. I know that both of these Haunting of installments are based off of books. Obviously, The Haunting of Hill House is based off of The Haunting of Hill House, and I honestly can't remember the book that The Haunting of Bly Manor is based off of, but I will put it here. But like I said, it wasn't suspenseful enough. It wasn't like you wanted to leap out of your chair kind of series, like kind of TV show that I wanted, that I was like, oh my god, it's going to probably surpass the first season, but it didn't for me, and that's a bit of a shame. So going back to the characters, there wasn't there wasn't a lot of in a way, character development, because for one, the au pair Danny, she came in, she has a backstory. I mean, majority of them have a backstory, but there was nothing to keep, nothing to be like, yes, I'm going to root for her throughout the entire series. It was just, you wanted to feel like, it was almost a sense of like, you wanted to be sorry for her, she'd you feel sorry for her with what has happened, but you don't want her to be like, yes, she's my favourite character, you know? And then I think as well with the children, they didn't really speak like children. They were very, what's the word? They had very high vocabulary, and so how it came across, they didn't act like kids, in my opinion. And it was just a bit weird how they were all so weird how they spoke and how they act, but I think that was more for the eeriness. I mean, Mile reminds me a bit of the puppet, the boy, the boy movie, so it's a bit, or was it The Omen, or The Omen, little boy, but you have that sense of black hair, pale face boy. It's quite a creepy vibe, but it wasn't, I would say it wasn't the best of things. If anything, I would say my favourite character was Hannah, the housekeeper, and with stuff that happened with her, it's just, one of them things. But unfortunately, it didn't live up to my expectations, and I don't know what else to say with that. I've felt really hyped up with it because the trailer was so spooky, and also very oh, it's going to be scary, you're going to enjoy it because of obviously how well Haunting of Hill House did. You would expect its successor to be better, but to me it wasn't better, but that's my opinion, obviously. But other than that, I think that's all I have to say for it. I'm not gonna, like I said earlier, I didn't want to delve into all the episodes and everything like that due to the fact that it's spoiling if you haven't watched it. But if you have watched it, let me know if you liked it or if you didn't, like I did. But I still watched it because, once you started watching it, it's one of those, but it is one of those, I would say, that if you start watching it, you can't stop. You have to keep watching and what happened in the end, especially because some of them are a bit of a cliffhanger and you want to know what happened next. But other than that, it wasn't my cup of tea. But yeah, so let me know if you liked it, if you didn't like it. Do you think, I think they're going to make some more hauntings of, I mean, I hope so, because I do like the series, but hopefully it's more spooky. We want more spooky. Let me know who your favourite character, and your overall opinion of the Haunting of installment. What do you think of the entirety of the series? That's all for me for now. Please like and subscribe, and turn on that notification bell. And I will see you guys in the next video of whenever I record. So I'll see you later, guys. Bye.